It's a hard place to get out of, mate. Mate, I was impressed with the final comments about Trump. Mate, a year or so ago, the Fin Review had an article, Donald Trump has a disordered personality and should not be elected president.
Yes.
And you tweeted, I think, I hardly disagree with this.
Yeah.
On economic grounds, how do you think America has travelled in the last 10 months since Trump was inaugurated?
Well, the economy's certainly picked up, and I don't think you put a lot of that down to Trump, but the economy's picked up. There's very low interest rates.
Yeah.
It's been a long way out since the GFC.
Yep.
The markets have got buoyed on the whole idea of the tax cuts,
yes,
which we'd support very much.
We'll see whether it happens.
The tax cuts, the protectionist stance we think is troubling. But as I said sort of there, if it was a plan of, okay, I'm going to play the bad guy, I'm going to play the guy that shakes things up, and you go into China and you say, well, you haven't been playing by the rules, you need to open up,
yeah,
and that opens up China, well, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
So just not quite clear how he's playing this right now.
Look, a lot of people say it's unclear anything he does, and I acknowledge that there's uncertainty there. But I've seen suggestions that if the tax reforms go through, that the US economy could boom, and they could be looking at 3, 4, even 5% growth, which would be good for the American economy and for the world. Is that a remote possibility in your eyes?
Yeah, look, I'd be surprised if you got sort of 4 or 5% growth, but if you got, I think it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And I think we should all be pushing for reform of the US tax system to bring down taxes to get growth going again would be good for the whole world. There's still really the dominant economy in the world, so I think that would be a good thing. And there's a reasonable chance of getting partly way there. Probably won't want to get everything that he asks for, obviously, and no doubt that you can have a legitimate debate over the intricacies of the US company tax system.
Absolutely, mate. The creaking US infrastructure. Several years ago, I had occasion to try to open a bank account in America, and I needed a social security number. I worked over there in 1972, 73,
yes.
And I went to the local social security office to inquire about my number, and the bloke looked at the system and I gave him all of the identity information he needed, but he was unable to provide my social security number. I went home, and my son actually had some documents that I had given him years before, which included my social security number. So I rang back to the office and gave them my number, and they were able to confirm that I had that number, but only if I gave them the number first. The US infrastructure, IT infrastructure, is just a shambles, I think.
Yeah, look, in some ways, it's the greatest, most entrepreneurial country in the world, and Silicon Valley and Google and Facebook and Netflix, these things are all sort of killing the globe, wonderful things for the world economy and incredible wealth creation. They do have a lot of rules and regulations sometimes, surprisingly.
Indeed.
And some of their as you say, the infrastructure, the banking system, they still use checks,
indeed,
sort of
indeed.
Thing. And and the bureaucracy, surprisingly, can be a bit of a problem.
It's an astonishing place. Some of the best and some of the worst things in the world, mate.
So they've got a bit of upside if Trump gets the deregulation going. I think there's still upside there.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay,
Good on you.
No worries.
See you, folks.
Bye.